So with Garvey, when he foundation that's completely misconstrued is the economic development plan. So his actual plan was to get our brothers and sisters in our Kebalan, what's modern day called Africa, to reconnect financially, so that we could do, economic trade and, conduct commerce worldwide. You see, with all people of African descent. And so what we have now is that people look at being a Pan-Africanist as black pride. But it ain't got nothing to do with what Garvey was talking about. Garvey was really talking about leaving a legacy and changing the economic structure. No different than even what Muammar Gaddafi was talking about. For those who know what he was doing over there in our Kebalan.
Who?
Muammar Gaddafi.
Muammar Gaddafi, right.
Now, as I was saying with the tie-in, Prophet Noah Drew Ali, is that in order for us to actually set up a true economic foundation, you can't do it under a brand. You can't do it.
Because it belongs to the brand.
Not right. Well, those things don't exist.
Right. Like Negroes, black and colors, right.
A nation is defined as a aggregation of people who come together under a culture, language, and territorial jurisdiction. That's a nation. And who have common ancestry, right? In order to say Negro, black, and colored is our race, then you must find a common ancestry there under any of those brands, meaning that you must be able to tie Negro, black, and colored back into antiquity. If it don't exist, it don't exist.
Can't do it.
There's no new race of people on the planet. None. So when that happened in 1779, that was to take over the estate of the Moors who were already indigenous to this land. And by you can look at the Dow's Row that comes in late 1800s, 1870, 67, 71.
Dow's Row.
Right.
I'm familiar with it.
Where they'll tell the so-called Indian, when you sign the Dow's Row, that you have to agree to no longer be called Indians anymore. And that's where you'll see on the census at that time, where the Indians, who were really Moors, were then classified as Negro, black, and colored. And you can see it right in that transition with the Dow's Row. With that Dow's Row, you took away the culture. The culture was, we were hunters, our garb, all those things. So when you signed the Dow's Row, you agreed not to hunt anymore. You agreed to learn the King's English. You see what I'm saying? This is how the culture was taken. And then in order to sign that Dow's Row, you had to agree to do that. When you agreed to do it, then you lost the estate, you lost the land. You completely lost it at that point. You see what I'm saying? And so once you lost it, every head of the household was given 25 acres of land. Now mind you, Oklahoma at this point didn't come into the Union until 1903, I think it is. So Oklahoma was sovereign territory, meaning it was not a part of the Union States and so on and so forth, right? So by signing the Dow's Row, we agreed to be given some land that we already had. So this is already our land, but we agree now that you're going to tell us what we can have. You also agree that you're no longer going to hunt on your land. You're going to agree that you're going to change your language. You're going to agree that you dress more civilized now. That's the Dow's Row, right? So they just took away your standing as a nation. Nation has territory, culture, language, and defined ancestry, right? They took it away. You see what I'm saying? And thus, that's what's continued to happen to us. And so when the prophet came in, that's why he said Garvey was the harbinger. Garvey set up the purity within the economic movement. And then the prophet came to bring the nationality back to those Moors, so that now we can we can actually act under economic sovereignty. Your sovereignty is in your birthright. Your birthright comes through your nation. Your nation produces your nationality. And that's where you get the ability to say, to set up your own economic system. That's nationhood. You see what I'm saying? That's nationhood. Negro, black, colored, Afro or African American, that is not a nation, because no nation of people has ever existed on the planet in antiquity with that.